You are now listening to the Masters Mahan podcast. Episode 26, Demons 103, or Eyes Wide Shut. This episode may be deemed inappropriate for some listeners. If you have been abused or are a minor, you should stop now. This episode builds on the previous ones. Over the last 2 episodes, we illuminated the secrets of demonology that the occult and the demons themselves don't want you to know. We took as our mandate the holy promise of St. Luke that before the day of universal judgment, every dark secret would be shouted from the rooftops. Since you, right now, are likely listening to this as it is being beamed to you through the air, you yourself, dear listener, are participating in the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. It is good to be informed, because you have a real enemy who really does seek your destruction.
On September 18th, 2019, the World Health Organization said that they were going to conduct an experience that was going to be a rapidly spreading pandemic due to a lethal respiratory pathogen.
The Pfizer documents contain evidence of the greatest crime against humanity in the history of our species. Pfizer knew 1 month after rollout, so that's November of 2020, that the vaccines didn't work to stop COVID. And they identify that the 3rd most common side effect of the Pfizer vaccine is COVID.
Your risk of dying from the vaccine far exceeds your risk of death from the disease.
Pfizer knew in May of 2021 that the vaccines had caused heart damage in 35 minors within a week after the injection. And the FDA knew, but the government of the United States didn't tell parents until August of 2021 that there was an elevated risk of heart damage in healthy young adults. 4 months later.
We don't just need more money for vaccines for children eventually. We need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic.
Everything that we were told, you have to follow the science, follow the science. Turns out there was no science. Nope. They never did any studies.
Anthony Fauci was responsible for promoting this kind of research. So yes, his fingerprints were all over it.
I should be prosecuted.
Of all those deaths, the vaccine caused death, by the way, 25% of them occurred on day 0, meaning the day you received it, day 1, or day 2 following the injection. That's pretty unbelievable.
I'm talking about the COVID vax. Okay. I'm talking about the mRNA vax. I think it's evil, and I mean that not just in a generic sense, but in a spiritual sense. Yep. I think the fact that some vaccines are made from aborted baby fetuses, which they are, which I didn't even know that was actually true. It actually is true. The whole thing is so mind-bogglingly evil that I can't deal with it.
The risks of COVID-19 vaccination far outweigh any theoretical benefits. Our CDC knew about thousands of patients fully vaccinated early in 2021 dying of acute COVID-19. It was abundantly obvious the COVID-19 vaccines did not reduce the risk of death. I don't want America to be fooled thinking that the vaccines save lives, because they didn't.
No one is being held accountable.
Exactly.
For any of this.
For any of it.
And I think you and I would both agree that some of what has been committed is clearly criminal behavior.
Well, yeah, and here's Fauci still walking around, Birx is walking around, and now she's a board member on Palantir.
And it seems like there's really no push to have accountability.
It seems right like now. Not.
This study VAERS-adjusted data that yield a conservative range of 470,000 to 600,000 American deaths from the COVID-19 mRNA shots. That's it.
Not those numbers.
More than, well, just that alone. That's a lot of people, man. More than World War I, World War II, and Vietnam. It indicates Pfizer alone likely killed over 470,000 Americans. They found a 36% increase in all-cause mortality among Pfizer recipients versus Moderna.
Yeah, but they saved millions.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
The Lord has said that those who can exercise their faith to good works, in this the day when we can see, albeit through a glass darkly, will receive the greater reward. But since even he had a doubting Thomas in his inner circle, we realize that there are always some who will not believe unless they see the nail prints and thrust their fingers into the very spear wound itself. Let's finally keep our promise to you by revealing the method that the occult uses to enter the world of the dead and make a personal pact with Lucifer. By stepping into the darkness, paying the ferryman's price, and approaching the second guardian at the gate.
Mother. Yes. Did you forget the coin for Charon? No, son.
Who are you? I seek entrance as one illuminated in all knowledge and in the secret name of God. Who are you? I am the kid who spilled the milk. That is incorrect. Stand aside. But that is the passphrase I was giving. Stand aside. I know the name of he who cannot be named. Stand aside. What's that music? I want to go there and see for myself.
Hurry, hurry, hurry! Don't miss the fun! Come join the thrills of all the tempting amusements. Do whatever you wish, nothing is restricted, nothing is forbidden. Hurry, hurry, hurry! Don't miss the fun!
Lucifer Satan has no new shenanigans. And since Earth has a never-ending cycle of new dopes to play with, he can just recycle his lies over and over. It has been said that those who don't learn from history are forced to repeat it. And indeed, this is true. The devil doesn't want you to know correct history because, when you do, you begin to see his ruses with eyes wide open. Modern man puzzles at why the occult among us is pushing so hard to return us to classical Greece. We hope that our time together here is illuminating all their plans in ways that you can join the rest of us in making wise decisions. In the time we have left. In any battle, knowing an enemy's goals and motivations help you make wiser decisions. Since we have the ability to learn from history, let's see if we can learn anything from the past. In 188 BC, before the Roman peoples turned their whole attention to creating a one-world government, one consul member went before his people's senate with a terrible discovery. His name was Posthumius, and he had this to say. You know, using real Luciferian magic. What? You say this is not really magic, but just some Disney-style phantasmagoric smoke and mirror antics?
Gosh.
Damn, you're getting too smart. You know what happens to smart people anciently, right?
So that's a guillotine. Yeesh.
Now, where were we? Do you have any idea how hard it is to stay on track with 5G radiating my brain? Oh, you probably do. We'll save that for another episode, assuming we remember. Oh, you probably do. We'll save that for another episode, assuming we remember. Oh, you probably do. Do you have any idea how hard it is to not be repetitive with 5G? Oh, what's that word? It starts with an R. Do you have any idea how hard it is to remember words with? Now I've lost my train of thought. Let's just go back in time, enter the Roman Senate, and hear what's his name speak for himself.
The Senate will come to order. We will now hear from Senator Postumius.
Citizens of Rome, there has never been an assembly for which our prayerful plea to the gods has been more necessary, indeed so desperate, as now. The gods we have invoked today, our gods of our ancestors, not the new young gods who would drive us to every sort of crime, of lust, of enslavement, the scourge of the Furies. I confess before you that I am at a loss today. I am unable to decide what I should cloak in silence and what I should tell you openly and bluntly. If I soften the danger before us, I may cause your negligence to our true national danger. But if I lay open and bare before you the whole truth, I fear to spread panic and alarm in our streets. But know that what I do tell you now, my words will be inadequate to the horror and seriousness of the actual situation. I pray that we will be wise and take adequate precautions while we still can. The Bacchic rites have been practiced in the empire for a long time. Only recently have they infiltrated our holy capital, Rome herself. While they were small, we didn't pay them much mind. But since their members have grown, they have become more bold. I know that many of you know this by increasing crime in our streets and by the rumors and invitations given to your youths to participate in their evils. If not by that, then you have heard the banging and howling increasing among us in the night's darkness of our streets. I know that some of you ignorantly believe you are hearing some innocent worship or a game of sport or relaxation. But either way, that it involves so few of our citizens as to be any real concern for you. The truth is that it is being done now by many thousands among us, and our traditional way of life is in great danger. I do, however, hope to lower any panic by telling you who these people are and what they believe. Liars lie, and thereby always have that advantage over truth speakers. But once the eyes of the people open so that they can see the truths for themselves, the liars are the ones who tremble. Here is the truth. Most of those causing this evil among us are women. Only recently have they added males to their ranks, if they are willing to dress as women. Bacchus, their god, demands that they embrace debauchery. He works them into a frenzy through lack of sleep and excessive wine until they are bereft of their senses. Up until recently, their followers have kept to themselves, private. But now, their numbers are growing, and they are flaunting their plans for you and your families openly. If you knew the age at which our males are being initiated by these women, you would pity them. Citizens of Rome, do you feel that young men initiated by these evil women should be allowed into our military? That weapons should be placed in their hands after they have been indoctrinated into the evil that is invading our country? Do you really believe that effeminates can be trusted to fight for the chastity of our wives and children? I would be less alarmed if their evils merely rendered them effeminate, which is still a disgrace to God and men. But I tell you that all our current crime, public lusts, fraud, and violence in our streets and country come from this one source. These may look effeminate, but they are taught the works of violence. Believe me, when I tell you that they have not yet put into practice all that they intend to do to our nation and to your family. They are not yet strong enough for their full plans, which are to completely overthrow the state. This is not a conspiracy, but a truth they hide with their mockeries. We have already reached the point where private resources cannot stop them. Only the power of the good citizens that remain of our state, united, can stop them. I repeat, the plan to overturn the sovereign power of our state and its peace is their plan. Hear me. As individuals, these evil people are very afraid of us gathered in a body with a cause for goodness. But when you have scattered to your own houses, they will have their meetings in darkness and plot your destruction through assassination and lying in wait for you one by one. They will cheat, lie, bring you before our courts, and use every advantage that you, my honest citizen, would never employ. If they have already crept into your homes, you must deem them your enemies, for surely you will discover that they will harm you within your very doors when they are told to do so. There is nothing more dangerous than stupid religious beliefs and naive citizens. The stupid, unsuspecting among us think that all will always be well, while the dangerous zealot will justify any action they do being the will of the gods who have possessed them. Do not be deceived when you see us break up the Bacchanalia publicly. We are not attacking religious rites, but the very evils our ancestors' gods warned us about, that we may be quick to put down their evil plans before they can destroy our republic. You must use your best efforts to ensure that no riot, fire or destruction in our streets. No mob rule be allowed to destroy our national happiness. We must act quickly, as their numbers are growing among our youth.
So just what did Posthumus discover? How did he discover it? And what can we learn from it now before 6G makes us even stupiderest?
And dare of Earth's kind. You can take my word for that.
That's the word. I couldn't find it in my head. And what can we learn from it?
It's great to learn, because knowledge is power.
Since all history is circular, let's not be a square and see what we can learn. But first, a little backstory. Let's explore pubic. No, that's not it, stupid 5G. Posthumus. Yeah, that's right. Let's explore what Posthumus discovered in the world's oldest republic, the Roman Empire. We may have to summarize a few things.
Oh, look, a squirrel.
But we'll try to get to the facts, mostly despite the radiation. Oh yeah, that was the word.
I'm Rocky the Flying Squirrel.
Rome actually started out with good intentions. In their own minds, anyway. The vast majority of the Old World had become exhausted by the Semitic, that means children of Shem's, families' numerous attempts at empire building and world domination. Specifically, the Assyrians, Babylonians, and Persian tyrants, who were all descendants of Shem and were all the elder cousins of Israel.
Shlama ilach, shlama ilochun, b'shayna theluch.
In order to put a stop to them, the tribes of Noah's older son, Japheth, stepped in to end their tyrannical plans. Their greatest hero in the end was Alexander the Great. Under Alexander and those who ruled after him in his name, the world became Hellenized, since the Greeks had their own dark secrets. Still, many good modern things came from their reworking of the world, and Greek became the new world language for international communication after Alexander. This greatly aided the spread of Christianity when it too embraced Greek as the language of its ministry. One of the gifts of Greece was its concept of democracy.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
The problem with pure democracy is the fact that it doesn't work. It is a fact that every democracy has always fallen in time into tyranny. When the Roman peoples fell in love with all things Greek, they attempted to protect democratic ideals with a new twist. This they called Republicanism, meaning that instead of a government where every single person participated and had a direct voice on every single issue every single day, citizens would elect representatives, and these would gather together to conduct state business on behalf of the people they represented, called constituents. The mutation of democracy was so effective that Rome reigned 1,000 years. The success of the British Empire, apart from the fact that they embraced the satanic Great White Brotherhood,
the plans are perfect. I will conquer the world.
We will have to save that for another history lesson, also owes its lasting power to the Republican concept that even a monarch has to answer to both the House of Lords and the commoner scum.
The genealogy shows that I'm descended from Vlad the Impaler, you see.
Plus a body of judges from time to time. If one digs deeply into British law, one will discover that their king or queen, it is often the same thing.
Hello, stranger.
Sometimes their king is a queen. Remember the naked sex slave who fell out of Buckingham Palace's window?
I said I what's it.
Unless he was just Chucky'd out. The King-Queen of England still retains tyrannical powers, but basically, since the mutation of the House of Tudor into the current German-based House of Windsor, they have been afraid to exercise them. In fact, they function similar to our so-called Patriot Acts that satanic scumbag George Bush put into place.
It's so sacred we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America?
But back to topic. The greatest gift of the American Revolution and our democratic-based republic has been its emboldenment of the masses. The United States has shown the world that by balancing power while attempting to uphold the rights of the masses against the individual, and the rights of the individual against the rights of the masses, according to Christian-based philosophies, has become in free-thinking economies a force difficult to ignore. Anyone doubting need only look at the recent backlash the world saw when the satanic elitists hiding among us tried to use the lies of a global planned demic to steal our freedoms.
I'd have to laugh at that. I should be prosecuted.
It is crucial that Americans remember that America is not a pure democracy. We are a republic that is based in Greek democratic rights. Every American must fight to keep our Constitution, and specifically our Bill of Rights, intact for every American.
All men and women created by you know the thing.
Even the dumber ones among us.
And here of Earth's kind. You can take my word for that.
Perhaps this look back at Rome's early struggles will help us understand what modern so-called clubs of Rome have planned for you and me and your loved ones.
No, get that habit!
It was during the early years of Rome when they decided that it was best, for the sake of world peace and their own financial interests, to expand their power. History calls this time the Pax Romana, meaning the Roman peace. It all started out intelligently with various tribes of humanity signing on to Roman ideals. It was an early attempt at a United Nations-esque concept. Even the Jews made a pact with Rome at this time, which was called the Jewish League. Rome was going to be the world's policeman, and any nation needing help could join forces with Rome and its House of Lords, which they called the Senate. It all began to fall apart when Julius Caesar decided that he needed to be Rome's pharaoh. It was this direct attack on their democratic republicanism that led to Caesar's murder and the eventual consolidation of power into the hands of an elite class, the children of which still believe it is their right to rule us today. While all non-biblically based societies have their share of Luciferian nonsense. It is another fact of history that once an elite class is established, secret acts of barbaric ritual are always instituted so as to create an ulterior agenda to concentrate the power of the elite and thus live a life of excess on the back of the working masses, who are kept in the dark for as long as possible. It is no lie that today in the United States of America, the leaders of the Democrat Party are the wealthiest, most powerful people in our nation.
I'm not that person.
These know the historical fact that all pure democracies suffer with mob rule and end in tyranny. This is their plan for you behind secret doors. Remember that it is a satanic trick to accuse your enemy of the very thing that you yourself are doing.
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
This is the direct meaning of being a Master Mahan. This elitist power grab is maintained through blackmail and indebtedness. The United States and much of Europe are in the last throes of this right now. It is encouraging to see the masses open both their eyes. Both eyes are needed to see the demons hiding behind the bushes, and the Clintons, and the Kenyans too.
Yeah, I was not born in Hawaii. I wasn't born in the United States of America. I come from Kenya.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
You can smell them by their musk, even if they are the fellers hiding behind the rocks, so to speak. Just like the blast of any warning Trump, knowing the past can help you avoid being a Zuckerberg when you find your hero's shiftingness into the Newsom scum of modern confusion.
And my preferred pronouns are he, him, and his, so thank you for sharing yours with me.
You have to be careful when it comes to rumors, but it has been so schumered among the masses. And forewarned is forearmed. And this takes us back to where we started. Here is what Roman patriot consul Postumius learned. One of the Roman citizens under his consulship was a young heir in Rome named Publius Ebutius, whose father had been something of a hero among the select cavalry warriors of Rome, but had died. His mother, Durania, had remarried a powerful man named Titus Sempronius Rutilus. Titus hated his stepson, and so he decided to destroy him. But how? He talked his wife, the boy's mother, into helping him initiate the young man into the secret cult of Lucifer, called Bacchus in the Latin tongue at this time. He pressured his new wife to shame her son into agreeing to join the mystery cult of Bacchus, a reincarnation of the Dionysian mysteries which competed with the Eleusinian mysteries, which all connect with our modern study here. His mother told her son that the last time that he had been sick, she had made a solemn, unbreakable vow to the gods that if they healed him, she would initiate him into the secret rites, and that now, since he had recovered, she realized that she had needed to pay her vow or risk the wrath of the gods of Rome upon her head and upon her family. We might call this today manipulation. What could the young man do but agree for his beloved mother's sake? He was told that he had to fast and be sexually pure and possibly drown a piglet in the sea for 10 days. And then he could be taken to the banquet, and then ceremoniously washed and taken to the sacred shrine to learn the deepest mysteries of all. Now, as fate would have it, the young man had fallen in love with a professional prostitute.
Them was the olden days.
Who had been a sex slave, had been freed, but chose to still prostitute herself out to select clients at a higher price. Her name was Hispala Facenia. But as fate would have it, despite her career path, she had fallen in love with the young man in question. He felt the same. Such was their mutual love that they had both seriously considered joining as man and wife, despite her career plans. Thus, when young Publius told her, upon their next get-together, that he was under vow to be sexually unavailable for the next 10 days, she wanted to know why. When Hispala heard the whole story, she screamed in terror.
May the gods forbid! Better for you and me to die rather than that. You should join the cult of Bacchus.
She then called down a curse.
May the vengeance of the very gods fall upon any and all who plan to do this to you. Your stepfather, and perhaps your mother too, are evil and plan to destroy your virtue, your reputation, and your future prospects, and maybe your very life!
The young man was in shock at her extreme reaction. He really loved this woman, and it pained him to see her in such distress over him. He asked her what could possibly be so bad to elicit such cries of terrible grief. What did she know that she was not telling him? A terrible heaviness came over her, and then she cried out a plea to every god and goddess she could name by name. She begged them to forgive her for what she was about to reveal, against the most solemn oaths imaginable. Surely, she cried, that in breaking her solemn vow to keep her eyes wide shut, she had to save her beloved, and that the only way to do that was to break her vow of silence. So, resigned, she told the young man that while she had been enslaved,
Minimum wage! Yeah!
she had had no choice but to accompany her owner, her former mistress, to the rites of Bacchus, but that the moment she had been freed, she had promised herself that she would never go back, and that in fact she had never gone back. She said that it was the source of every evil a man or woman could commit. Every young man that was taken there, that she had ever seen, had been tricked and then sacrificed by the priests. These young men couldn't even cry for help because the drums, tambourines, and demonic screeches of the assembly were so loud that it drowned out his cries for help and pleas for mercy.
Once again, midsummer sets us free.
She clung to the young man with such fervor and refused to let go, until at last he swore to her by the gods that he would not go, nor have anything to do with the ceremony. When the young man went back home and his mother asked him about his preparations, his abstinence, he told her that he had decided not to go through with it. His mother berated him and said that the problem was that he was too weak to avoid sex for 10 days in a row. When his stepfather overheard, he was furious and he forcefully threw the young man out of the house into the street. Uncertain what to do, he went to his aunt's home and she took him in. Soon his aunt knew the whole story, and she told him that he had to go and see the council. So he went to see Postumius and told him the whole story. Postumius was shocked by what he had heard and began a governmental investigation. The more he learned, the more alarmed he became. The whole truth seemed impossible, ridiculous, some sort of crazy conspiracy story.
The conspiracy theorists are going to go on. Sure they are.
But the more he dug, the more he discovered that the more elitist, politically correct, controlled answers didn't really answer the bigger facts. Where there is smoke, there is fire. And the more some were saying that there was nothing to fear, and that there was nothing to see here, that was in fact not true. One does not fight evil with eyes closed. So, at last, he ordered Hispala to appear before him. She was absolutely terrified. Seeing her distress, he invited several of the women of his household to attend them, and he took her into a comfortable private chamber on his own estate to calm her fears. He told her that if she would tell him the facts about all she knew, he would use the full power of Rome to protect her. When she realized that she was being asked to reveal the darkest secrets of their deep state, she was so terrified that she literally trembled from head to foot and was incapable of even opening her mouth for a long time. After that long time had passed, since it was clear that she would not be leaving, she calmed down. She said that it was true she was initiated and had been but a girl and a slave, and that it was so long back that she didn't even think she could remember anything. The consul praised her for her honesty in admitting that she had been initiated, and told her to tell him all that she knew. She said that she knew nothing else at all, but when the consul said that if he later came to prove that she was lying, he would guarantee that she would feel the full weight of Roman justice. Then she fell at his feet and begged him to believe her, that she had made the whole thing up just to scare the young man, and that none of it was true. There was no cult. When faced with the truth of the consul's other investigations and other witnesses, she at last admitted that she feared the wrath of the gods, to whom she had been forced to pledge that she would hide their secrets to her death. But she added that even more than that, she knew that if she told what she knew, the members of the occult would see to it that she was literally torn limb from limb with their own bare hands.
I'll get you, my pretty.
She begged the consul on her life to be allowed to remain silent and simply be exiled from the entire Italian peninsula. It was only after the consul swore to her that Rome would and could protect her that she broke her silence and said what she had witnessed. Today, much of what Hispala revealed is not unknown to modern classical historians. And since we have a specific purpose in this episode, and may as of yet explore deeper specifics in other episodes, we will merely summarize her testimony now. Hispala said that the Bacchanalia started out as a cult for women only, since the only male allowed among them was Bacchus, the god of wine, and maybe his goat son Pan, the god of pandemonium. every year for 3 days. The women would gather on the mountainsides during the day and choose their priestesses in a form of rotation. Ideally, there would be a crone, a woman after menopause, a wife, a female currently married, and a maiden, unmarried, whether she be a virgin or no.
Sure, I know. But aren't they all witches inside?
But when it became Pakula Anina of Campania's turn, she changed the ceremony. Having no daughters herself, she initiated her sons dressed as women.
Hello, stranger.
You know Michelle is a transgender. We all know.
And she moved the ceremony to nighttime. Then she insisted that the rites be performed monthly over 5 days instead of only once a year. As one can imagine, drunk men and women frolicking in the woods under the cover of darkness soon gave way to Orgyville.
2 by 2 they enter the jungle, and soon they number more. 3 by 3 as well as 4 by 4, women and men.
Hispala admitted that when it was all said and done, there was a lot more man-on-man sex now going on than there had been man-on-woman sex before.
Amazing!
Once all that was in place, Pakula ordered that no additional males over the age of 20 be initiated.
Bark.
Woof, woof.
She said that it was understood that the plan was to change the empire by changing the youth.
Wish I do. Spark.
It was not long before any younger man in attendance, unwilling to be used on these nights, was taken and murdered in honor of the gods, before the rest of the group, to keep everyone else in line. Their motto was,
Nothing is forbidden.
I am my own god. I bow to nobody but myself.
You are free to do as you wish. Anything you wish. This will be my only law. She
said that lots of smoke and so-called magic was also used to make it appear that the gods were behind it all.
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
And thereby approved. She said that one such miracle was that men were given lit torches, illuminated by the gods. Drunk on spiked wine, they would run down to the river, prophesy,
I say we're going to the lost city of gold. That's just drunk talk. Sweet, beautiful drunk talk.
And then plunge their flaming torch into the river. And it would remain lit. Hispala said that she knew this wasn't really magic because the priests would add sulfur and calcium to the ignitants, which caused the wonder. But the drunk boys saw the hand of the gods.
Sweet, beautiful drunk talk.
Other young men who were not playing by the rules would be dressed in a special robe which at the back was attached to a machine, sort of like a catapult. And when the priestess suddenly condemned the man, he would be instantly yanked away into the darkness by the hand of a god, and was never seen again. This was all terrifying to those who were not in the know. Hispala said that over the past decade, their numbers had exploded, and in her opinion, the secret cult made up a second nation, a deep state, within the empire. When she was finished, she once again fell at the consul's feet and begged him to exile her, as she had now forfeited her very life. Instead, he turned part of his own estate into a safe house and moved her and her slaves and belongings there. He then arranged for the young man, her lover, to also be safe housed with her, along with any other witnesses from his investigation. Once all the witnesses were safe, the council called the Senate that we,
thanks to the power of Luciferian magic,
were privileged to witness firsthand. Rome did eventually fall to corruption. But like any society, it was not until they gave up the fight and allowed the masters Mahan hiding among them to win. So just how was it that women like Pacula Ania of Campania, the great Sibyl of Italy, the Witch of Endor that King Saul sought out,
L'Azazel,
Isabel Gaudi, Morgan Le Fay, Aradia, Marie Laveau, Anne Boleyn, Alison Device, Tibula, Hillary Clinton, Sybil Leek, Rosaline Norton, the Bell Witch, the Blair Witch, Mole Dyer, the Fisher Wife of Palermo, and many others. There were plenty of men in this stuff too, but here we refer to them as wizards, but that assumes that they didn't cut off their
Governor Spencer Cox
or wand yet. Lucifer tells his morons that there is nothing as powerful as a man who is also a woman, or a woman who is also a man. This they call the two spirits, which is rather true once you get ritually and become a home of a demon. You are to
3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 40, 93, 87, hike over to the left. Shoot, give me the ball, I'm gonna run with the ball, and I'm over there.
13, 27, 2,000 plus legion, a lump of flesh housing other spirits. Too bad you rent boys and silly women can't charge them rent. If only there was a way to meet Lucifer and somehow sell your soul for rent exemption. But we admit we have put it off long enough. Just how is it that these men, women, she-males, big Mike-Ls, witches, popes, priests, senators, musicians, peons, morons, actors, witches, kings, pedophiles, presidents, trannies, boy toys, wizards, and etc., have been able to communicate so effectively with Lucifer, visit hell or Hades, and come back with their brilliant but world-altering plans to change the world, start the UN, invent modern fiat banking, convince others that abortion isn't murder, form a company like PayPal or FedEx, rig an election, invent a pyramid scheme, and basically so effectively destroy our common understanding of humanity and our promised Christ before the day of universal reckoning. Like all Luciferian secrets, it's really not that clever and rather obvious once you understand it. In short, all of these initiates have allowed a doctor in the know to murder them in a controlled setting, and then at the last possible moment, medically revive them before permanent brain damage sets in. Of course, we needn't make the joke, but that's Costco's way of saying that now we will make the joke.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
That it is highly likely that some of them were revived too late.
All men and women created by you know the thing.
Once these are dead, they are taken by their assigned demon into the great palace of Lucifer, where they can make their case, plead their cause, make their promises, and pledge him their soul in exchange for anything: money, fame, or power. Okay, if this sounds too much like a Hollywood movie,
today's a good day to die.
Flatline.
30 seconds to go.
Can you recall any specific emotion or sensation?
No, but there's something out there.
We're running out of time.
300, clear. Nothing. Your heart going dead. Clear. Nothing. I can't hear anything. Come on, Nelson. Freeze. We lost him. No.
Welcome back, man.
I'm going next.
2 minutes.
10.
Was there anything negative about your experience?
This is too weird. We've experienced death. It's back physically. That is not hallucination, and it is not possible.
Oh my God.
You withheld information. That's the same as lying.
You wouldn't have done it. At least we would have had a choice.
Damn, wake up.
Hey, come on, they're your sins. No! Nelson, please! I thought I paid my dues.
Thank you for the nightmare.
No! Come on, Joe! Starting CPR. 1,000, 2,000.
Relax. Enjoy the experience.
Tim, wake up. Dude, I passed out. Just stand up. How long have you been out for? What the fuck? That was like weird weapons.
if this sounds too much like a Hollywood movie, stop and listen to me carefully now. Where do you think they have learned all their crap? And why has it always been so consistent? Why are there no new ideas coming out of Hollywood? I personally know the family who took Walt Disney through all this when he wanted to make a deal in the 1940s. But this episode is running longer than intended, so we'll save that for another time. The number one problem with Lucifer is that he is a brilliant but fallen son of God, and he is a liar. He can definitely teach you how to be rich, famous, and powerful, but you will discover that other than giving you diabolical secrets, such as if you want to be rich, inject 1 million people with a poison and then make them pay you for the daily antidote until the day they die.
I should be prosecuted.
Or, if you want to be famous, pay my marketers to push your face into everybody's homes every 20 minutes.
Hi, British Vogue. I'm Paris.
And I'm Nicole, and today we're playing Never Have I Ever. I don't think I should have gotten fired from that job because I fisted a cow, so I really put in the work.
You did.
Or, if you want to be powerful, pay the masses to riot, and then be the one to step in and save the city.
Never waste a good crisis.
The big joke is that the occultists know that it doesn't matter to Lucifer if you fail or not. If his plans work, he'll take the glory and point you out to others as one of his successes. If you fail, he'll blame you and point you out to others as what happens when you didn't keep your end of the bargain.
Good afternoon. I'm speaking to you from the England. I should like to ask this gentleman a question or so. First of all, who are you?
I'm the devil, and I tempt people, mainly, during the daytime and during the night time.
I see. Are you the only devil? Do you have any other partners?
I've got a few hobgoblins, sprites, sort of minor evil bodies around the place. Otherwise, very little. They're rather boring. I'm the main devil. I'm the most evil person in the world.
What are you, in fact, doing here at this very moment?
Being interviewed at the moment.
Being interviewed, yes, that's certainly true. But before you were being interviewed, was there anything you were up to at all?
I was preparing to be interviewed and getting myself in the frame of mind to talk.
There is always another moron waiting in the queue.
To go back and fill that in. And then make sure when you fill in the facilitating form
Leave this to me.
that you do paragraph.
I'm British. I know how to queue.
For the next appointment, Johnny Carson was merely a copy of Jack Benny. And even overactor Jim Carrey is just Jerry Lewis in a modern suit. If it works, it works. This too will give way to the next Jimmy, and on and on and on to the end.
Hollywood really is a bitch goddess.
While the ancients preferred to use drugs to remove one's spirit from their body,
the grandest medicine that I can propose is under your nose, a snake in the grass.
modern Satanists prefer strangulation. It's easier, and if you're into that sort of thing, you can always hire a hard, sweaty, naked bodybuilder to put you in a headlock. That way, both of you get something out of it.
I know I look ridiculous, but it's a living.
Once dead, you will have about 9 minutes, Earth time, to make your Luciferian deal in person and sign your forms. Fortunately for you, Hades Standard Time doesn't work like Pacific Standard Time. So within those 9 minutes, you have time to enjoy the various amusement rides, catch up with any former prostitutes or red boys you might have missed, or had murdered, or otherwise just enjoy the various attractions. You will bump into a few annoying Christians there trying to explain to you that there is a less chaotic portion, but you will need some faith in the unseen to go there. These tend to get ignored or seen as crackpots, just as they are seen here. In fact, some of those who have been and returned have said that these are very much seen by them like the robo-confessionals portrayed once again in Hollywood. The most apt being in the film THX 1138. Just fast forward to the scene unless you're upped up on 1139 caffeine pills, or you need a reason to fall asleep. Oh, yawn, what a bore. Thank the Lucas for Star Wars. If they don't revive you in time and you end up brain dead and come back like Rosemary Kennedy, you will either be turned into dog food and possibly pink slime,
I'm going to show you how McDonald's builds a Big Mac sandwich.
or placed in one of the world's better nut farms and basically listed one of the tragedies of history, or just forgotten for the new kids on the block.
The right number of boys for you is forever.
It's just time to move on to the next one and forget you.
More forever. More forever. The right number of boys for you is more forever.
But most likely the doctors in the club will revive you, and you'll be back with 2 surprises. 1, the personal knowledge that life does continue after death. Thus, actually now, death will hold no real fear for you. And 2nd, a mark of your time with the greatest of beasts. So now, here is one of the dirtiest of secrets, dear listener. Please hear it well. After your return from hell, you will have a very bloodshot eye and nasty bruises surrounding it on your face. If you dare, do an internet search for bruised eyes and celebrities and see what comes up. You might be very surprised at what you see and how many of them there are. You might remember that before our worldwide pandemic, hundreds of Hollywood, politicians, and Vatican types were all suddenly showing up online with this very mark. It was a sign to those in the know. Sure, each will have a logical explanation.
At the Kaufman Institute for Coincidence, we understand that coincidence is now the leading cause of death. At Kaufman, we specialize in the effects and leave the causes to the conspiracy theorists. And let's be honest, we know the cause anyway. It was a coincidence, right?
The code that is used in the occult when talking about this ranges from being one eye blind to eyes wide shut. This is lingo for saying that now one has seen what the masses have not and will forever see the reality of 2 worlds, the physical world and the afterlife, in the here and now. Fortunately for us, the Christ has descended below all things, and by his holy name, even the demons tremble. Thus, even the gates of hell are escapable. Oh, may he or she, and yes, even the he-she's, who have ears to hear, let them hear, and those with eyes to understand, let them Google the images themselves online. Then, if you listen close, even in the night's darkness, you can hear the trump blast, followed by the water curtain. Rationale for fair use of copyrighted items used. Fair use law allows fair use when copyrighted material is being used to make a specific educational, research-based, scholarly, and/or critical comment on the work being used.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there's just one thing wrong, Bullwinkle.
Just one? That's a refreshing change.
What is it?
Oh, this stuff is pretty heavy.
And?
You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Masters Mahan will continue.